Good afternoon, everybody out there in viewerland, and welcome to the Tuesday Taco Tuesday, the late Taco Tuesday edition of the Rundown. I am your hostess with the mostest, coming to you from the East Coastest. My name is Mike Piwowarski.
That's right, and I will be your co-host today. My name is Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras, from California. And Mike, I have a confession to make. I did not have tacos on Taco Tuesday today. Actually, I had carne asada fries.
Carne asada fries. Well, that's a lot like tacos, I guess. It's just, it's like
It
tacos turned on its side, kind of.
it's
You
taco adjacent, right?
Taco adjacent. You ever go to late night Taco Bell? I mean, there's really no other time to go to Taco Bell. But you ever go to late night Taco Bell and you're like, I'd like to get a burrito. They're like, we're out of burritos, sir, but we have soft tacos left. You're like, it's the same damn thing. It's just one. It's made with the same stuff. It's the same ingredients. You just turn it on the side. Oh, we have quesadillas. We don't have burritos. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's meat, cheese, and soft, shell. That's it. Just let's do it. It just drives me nuts sometimes.
Sometimes it'd be like that, sir. Look, Taco Bell makes for actually very good late night after an evening out food. Doesn't feel good the next day, but it works for that night.
As long as you get the soft the soft shell with it. If you get the hard shell, then it's all that grease, and you don't want to do that. You need something to absorb all the rest of the things you've imbibed in that evening. So it works.
So true, so true. Well, folks, hey, we have to apologize for running a little bit late today. Actually, the big news, which is actually our leading story, we kind of wanted to make sure we had some 411 and some information and kind of see everyone's reaction before we reported on it. So we just figured we'd put it off for a little bit. So please forgive us for being a little bit late today, but hopefully we will make your day with our conversation.
Yeah, if you have not heard yet, folks, we're going to break it right here for you now, because we were ready to go a little bit earlier, and we wanted to get to, like Craig said, a little more background, a little more information. If you have not heard yet, out of the state of New York, Governor Eliot Spitzer has resigned as governor. Yeah. He has. Looks like David Patterson will be the replacement. He is the lieutenant governor there. And hold on, Craig. I'm sorry. I believe I'm looking at some old information here. It's not Eliot Spitzer. It's Mario Cuomo. No, wait, that's wrong too. Andrew Cuomo resigned. Yeah, this guy Cuomo, he's out, Craig. He's out. And I think I texted you within like 7 seconds of the announcement being made. Cuomo out! Exclamation point.
Dude, I will tell you the thing about this that was really surprising is it was surprising in that I thought he would put up more of a fight. But then again, I thought back about it. I'm like, he's been fighting this thing for quite a while. I mean, dude, he killed tens of thousands of people with his COVID policy. I guess if you figured if he could get away with that, he could get away with anything.
Yeah, what's grabbing a little butt and a couple of boobs if you killed 10,000 grannies? It's just what's the big deal? It's just for this guy. He had that Teflon thing going. I didn't think he was going to leave, Craig. I think I said it on here that he was not going to leave until the state troopers dragged him out of his office after impeachment. I did not think he was going to go this easily. Oh, and for those that are not state of New York history buffs, the previous governor. Elected governor in New York was Governor Eliot Spitzer, who also resigned. And if you recall, David Patterson took office. He was the first African American governor of New York and the first blind governor of New York, which made for quite a fun time on Saturday Night Live.
Well, actually, this decision actually also creates a first for New York, in that they will have their first female governor.
Kathy Hochul or Hochul, however she pronounces it. She's from New York, so there's probably 7 different ways to say it. She is not like Cuomo or their Spitzer, the last couple of governors there. She's not from Down City, as the rest of the state would say. She's a Buffalo girl. She's from a Western New York. What would be considered a conservative family in New York, but conservative family in New York just means not quite as liberal So she's a lawyer. She's from the west part of New York, like I say, Buffalo, and we'll see. You know, she's made a name for herself there in the last 10, 12 years. She's come up in the state government, been fortunate herself a couple of times, winning races where other state assemblymen had to resign due to inappropriateness as well. So
this is starting to sound like a setup.
Yeah, yeah.
You're making this kind of sound like a setup.
This is the third time she will have taken an office where somebody else had to resign and could not run or could not seek re-election. She has been the benefactor thereof.
Well, you know, a couple of interesting points behind this when you look at what people are saying. So first of all, know that Joe Biden is taking full credit for the governor resigning, as he noted. That's what he called for. I'm like, dude, you don't even remember what you called for, so don't go taking credit for it. That was one thing. The other thing is that at least 2 district attorneys are still going to be investigating and seeking criminal charges. From what they say, are still going to be seeking criminal charges, but the attorney general for the state of New York has pretty much declared this item behind them. So anyway, it'll be real interesting to see if, in fact, any criminal charges do actually result. Because keep in mind, while he has resigned, he still has not admitted or acknowledged most of the accusations against him.
Yeah, you're correct. And in fact, he did not resign immediately. He said he's going to leave in 14 days. I guess that'll give him more time to, move the bodies around, if so to speak. So he's got 14 days.
That's what he's in trouble for, bruh. Moving bodies or inappropriately touching bodies. So I don't think they're going to be letting him do any of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork to be shredded and a lot of hard drives to be deleted between now and then. So hey, listen, I'm going to resign, but I'm going out on my terms, 14 days from now. So he's going to do it. As far as Joe Biden being involved in this, Craig, he's probably convinced that Elliot Spitzer just resigned. That was
no
2008. Spitzer resigned in 2008, if I recall correctly, and that's when
I think he still thinks Blagojevich has resigned.
Oh, boy. You know what? I would welcome Rod Blagojevich as a governor. I mean, that guy was a dirty conservative from step one, but he was our dirty guy. They always have their dirty guys. Why can't we have our dirty guy? You got Cuomo out there killing grannies. Blagojevich, he broke a few legs. He bought a few people off.
Blagojevich was a Republican? I thought he was a Democrat.
Yes. No, it's a Republican from the state of Illinois, right?
Okay, we'll look that up as we talk about the other governors and how they've fared in news over the last couple of days. But
hold on, now I have to know. Hold on, now I have to know. I'm going to look right now. Look right now.
See, now he's got to know. I'm pretty sure he's a Democrat.
How do you spell Blagojevich? There we go. Former
let's
governor
see. Thief.
Oh, he was a Democrat. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. See?
Yeah, listen, he was his hair was so good. I just figured he was Republican.
You just thought he was.
He had Republican hair. Is what he had. So you know what? Listen, the Republican Party just went up another notch in my head. So there you go.
There you go.
Why,
so anyway,
why are they more important to you now, Mike? Oh, because Blagojevich was not one of them. They got winners are us, right? That's what the Democrat Party's name should be. Winners are us.
Exactly. So keep in mind, you've had 3 Democrat governors who've had to resign. You've had one that's been, may wind up recalling our second governor in my lifetime here in the state of California.
What California needs to do, if they really want to be successful as governors, is repeal the repeal law. Just get rid of the ability to recall
the governor.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's the only way a governor there will be successful is if he also campaigns and gets rid of the ability to recall a governor. Because that's unique. That's not every state. Listen,
No.
In Florida, there's very, very few offices that you could do a recall for, and governor is not one of them. So,
wow, good stuff. Well, bye, Mr. Cuomo. Bye. See you later.
Hey, You know what? It's 14 more days. I'll wait till then to make my peace with him. I don't. You know.
No, okay. All right. We'll have to
He
do
might
our
not be able to have
we'll
you,
have to do
Hillary,
a
but he can have
Cuomo
your legs.
special, RIP edition
Yeah.
of the rundown for Cuomo.
He may not be able to have you Hillary, but he could still have your legs broken. So you think now the brother Fredo, you think he tries to run for office? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why he left so willingly, so he could set Fredo up for the run.
Anything is possible. Although I don't know why he would leave his cushy job there at CNN.
Yeah, he's been suspended there enough too. Maybe he's on thin ice, but yeah, maybe next time.
Maybe
maybe
he's
6 years
copying
from
the
now.
tactics of his brother.
Could be. Yeah, yeah. As long as he's not feeling up dead people, that's it's not what you want to do, because that's what his brother should have done, rather than kill people and then feel up the live ones. Dead people tell no tales, right, Governor? You could have had your way. All right, so.
Gave you every opportunity to get to move on from that one, and you just kept digging yourself a hole.
Well, think about it. Listen, okay, this guy was feeling up interns and people that worked there, right? And he was killing old people. If he had just felt up the old people, the dead old people, nobody would have known. He would still be governor, So
as long as he wasn't like killing interns.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You said switch it up.
Yeah. Well, combine it too. Let's go from here and go just put this one there and then put that one there. Would be good. Yeah, it's just so. All right, Corey Bush. I'm gonna. You know what? I took the lead on feeling up dead people, so I'll let you take the lead on Corey Bush.
Okay, Corey Bush. You guys all know. Well, you may or may not know who Corey Bush is. Corey Bush is a congresswoman. I believe she's from New York, the same state. Am I incorrect in that, Mike? You want to look that up while I'm talking about it?
I just got Blagojevich wrong. You expect me to know where Corey Bush is from?
No, I just figure you're not on camera, so you can look it up while I'm talking.
All right.
So anyway,
she's
a big supporter of Black Lives Matter. She's a big supporter of defund the police. Well, she's come under fire recently because, she has spent, according to her campaign records, $70,000 on personal security. Now, mind you, this is a person who believes that you don't deserve the right to defend yourself, but she believes that she has the right to take campaign contributions, money that's given to her in a campaign to get her message out, to hire private security to protect her because she wants to defund the police, who, by the way, is the other way in which you could potentially protect yourself is by calling the popo. All right. Did you come up with something for me?
I did. Listen, and now since I got Blagojevich wrong, I doubted myself. I knew where she was from. She's from Missouri. She's from St. Louis.
Okay. Well, there you go. See, I was wrong. I just think, crazy whacked out liberal. It's either California or New York. I figure I had 50-50.
What about Texas? Come on, you can't leave Sheila Lee out of this. Don't leave her out of it. Just.
Yeah, but she's got a Southern accent. That kind of gives it away.
True. Well, but, that's okay. So when she takes that hat off, she sounds like she's from Brooklyn.
Right. So now, but here's the best part about this whole thing is the comments that she made to CBS News as to her response to those who would who question her spending that kind of money. Check it out.
So either I spent $70,000 on private security over the last few months, and I'm here standing now and able to speak, able to help save 11 million people from being evicted, or I could possibly have a death attempt on my life. And we're also talking about the same exact people who say horrible things about me, who lie to build up their base. And then because they lie about me, I receive death threats. Now, they don't address the fact that I receive death threats after they go on air and say horrible things about me. But then they want to say, oh, but she needs private security. I have private security because my body is worth being on this planet right now. I have private security because the white supremacist, racist narrative that they drive into this country, the fact that they don't care that this black woman that has put her life on the line, they can't match my energy, first of all. This black woman who puts her life on the line, they don't care that I could be taken out of here. They actually probably are okay with that. But this is the thing. I won't let them get that off. You can't get that off. I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend 10 more dollars on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen.
So Mike, her basic point is, well, you know, my body is impotent enough to be here. I need to be here, so I need to in order to defund the police. So therefore, I'll spend whatever money I want to spend on protecting myself.
Craig, I am stupider for having watched that minute or 2 minutes right there. She is Looney frickin' Tunes. I mean, at least, you know, with AOC, we get a decent soundbite every now and then, you know, about cows farting or something like that we can use to make fun of her later. But this one here is just bat turd crazy. She's got what we used to call circular logic. Craig, did you hear this? Her body has been threatened because she wants to defund the police. So because she wants to defund the police, she has made enemies. Because she has enemies, she has death threats. Because she has death threats, she needs the help of police. Because she needs the help of police, she hires police to save her so she could stay around and defund the police.
Well, but no, now but you forgot the whole white supremacist narrative that's being propagated that is causing people to call and threaten her life. Now, I'm just wondering, do you really think anyone has ever really seriously called and threatened her?
Hey, lady, get off my TV before you break it. You know, that maybe that's the kind of threats she's getting. Like, you know, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't mind her body being protected and kept up there in the Capitol or whatever. It just, does it need to be warm? Does it need to be warm? You know,
that is the sort of thing that I would expect someone to say to or about Cori Bush, but I don't know how that necessarily constitutes a threat. A joke.
Oh, listen, I have not. I make sure we're clear here. I am not threatening her. Also, I would not object if she failed to show up for work ever again. You know, but that's her own reasoning, not mine. You know, I think this is part of the steps towards the idiocracy, right? This is it. When we start putting people like this in authority.
At least I will give her credit. She's not taking taxpayer dollars to pay for it like AOC. Or like Maxine Waters is trying to do. Like they're trying to get Capitol Police to actually be with them in their districts in order to protect them.
That's because she's not smart enough. Don't try that. You know, somebody said, "Girl, you a black woman, you can't do that. They'll nail your ass on that. You know, you can't do that. You know, AOC." She white. They're gonna let her do that. You know, you not so much. So.
Well, what about Maxine Waters?
Well, she's crazy and old, so she got the old person excuse there.
There you go. Okay, all right, we'll buy that one. So, as you guys enjoy the whole Cori Bush thing, she's sometimes whenever I think of people saying stupid things, I always think of George W. Bush. Now there's another Bush to think about.
Listen, now George W. He just had a habit of making up words on the spot.
Right. Well, exactly.
And he's from Texas, where, listen, in Texas, they're big enough to where they can make up their own words if they want to. You know, there's a certain level of ridiculousness, that comes out of the state of Texas, and you just might have misunderestimated him at times.
Misunderestimated.
Two Bush words right there: ridiculousness and misunderestimated. Yep. Two of my favorites. You don't remember those? Oh my God, great words. Let's keep rolling. Vaccines, mandatory vaccines for the military. And Craig, we run up on the clock, so we may end up kicking one or two of the topics here at the end and saving them for tomorrow. But give you folks a little warning ahead of time. Mandatory vaccines for the military. I grateful that this one has finally happened. The place that it's going to be challenged the most, these mandatory vaccines, and we're seeing it in some places, some businesses, which are different. Those are private employers. We're seeing it in some small government, localities where they're trying to say they want mandatory vaccines, not to live in that community, but to deal with the government. Oh, you cannot come into our government office unless you can prove you've been vaccinated. Well, that's a denial of basic human rights right there. So the military has now been told September 15th that they must have mandatory vaccines. This past Thursday, so 4 or 5 days ago, they were put under a mandatory mask order as well for all indoor or close proximity activities. So it's already started. So here's what I foresee happening with the military, and this is why I'm grateful that this policy has come down. Right now, you're sitting at about between 50 and 60% was the last numbers I looked at, the people in the military that have taken the vaccine. So just about half, just under half have said, not doing it. Last time the military had a vaccine or inoculation that was put on hold was back in 04, 05 with the anthrax virus. And it ended up, I think it was a year and a half, 2 years before that finally got settled. And the judge finally decided, because a federal judge put an injunction in place against it, and finally got settled that, listen, you're going to a place where anthrax is, so you have to take the vaccine, or you have to take the inoculation. This is different. This is home. This is at home. This is somebody coming into the military's house and saying, you must get vaccinated. Now, Craig, I don't know where this line is. You have to get vaccinated. What about your spouse and your family that lives with you on post? Can they come on and off the base? Can they still be around you? Do I have to wear a mask in bed at home, with my spouse? Where's the line? This is really going to very quickly, I believe, come September 15th. There will be plenty of people ahead of time that get their refusals in order. But come 15th, I bet you there's an injunction in place in the military, and that is going to lay the groundwork for all over the country.
Oh no, I think you're 100% correct. I think it is going to open up the door for a lot of legal discussion about it. I agree with the whole thing with the anthrax. Yeah, you're going someplace. If you're going someplace where you're going to experience anthrax, this is probably a good idea for you to get that vaccine. In this particular case, and this is what I keep telling people, everyone is going to get COVID. Everyone. Now, some people may get it and they're unvaccinated and they deal with the unvaccinated and they develop an immunity that way. Some people may get vaccinated. And guess what? Even if you do, there's already enough information out there, you are still going to catch or can still catch COVID. Now, according to the numbers, you're a lot less likely to get deathly ill, but you're still going to get it. So everyone's going to get it. I guess I don't understand why, if people, especially we're talking about a segment of the population that is a lot less likely to get deathly ill, why are we making this mandatory? That just makes absolutely no sense. It is completely contrary to science.
Well, it's the same reason they tried to enforce the mask mandate upon the federal employees. It's because they can control their paychecks. They can say, listen, if you don't get it, we're going to toss you. Well, now when it comes to the military, though, I think you're looking at a different genre of people. You're talking about people that you have trained to fight, right? And now you want them to be complacent when you blindly give them orders that clearly science is not agreed upon. And Craig, I know you just had some facts there that you talked about, where if you have the vaccine and you get the virus, that you don't get as sick. Well, even that, everything that I read every day is up for interpretation or conjecture. It's for every pro article, there's a negative article right beside it.
No. Mike, and I hear you.
I'm not arguing the point with you, Craig. I'm not arguing the point. What I'm saying is the military is the place that's going to bring that up and say, we'll fight you, and here's the reason why.
But what the reason why I bring it up is because, once again, this is their logic, their numbers, their arguments, right? Yeah. Well, if that is what you believe, then why are you doing or implementing a policy that is contrary to that, to your own numbers? If you tell me that 1 + 1 = 5, and then you turn around and pass a policy that contradicts that data, even if it's bad data, my whole point is using your own logic, using your own numbers, your own information, your own data, you're wrong. That's my
This
point.
is arguably, this is arguably the most physically fit group, most physically fit, most medically well taken care of, most inoculated group of people in the country. And now you're going to say, oh, we have to give them the virus, or they have to give them the vaccine, or they're going to die.
Yes.
But just like you said, these are the most physically fit. These are the most low risk. Well, why are we giving them the vaccine if they're in the category of least likely to get it? You know, it's just, it's good. But I'm kind of glad that it's being faced to the military, and I believe this is going to get quickly and quickly around September 15th. Because remember, you can't get the injunction ahead of time. Mm-hmm. You've got to have somebody that says no and then gets in trouble for it. There has to be consequences before the injunction can be put in place. Right. So
now, you know what, Mike? I think we can do the next 3 topics. They're all really kind of different segments of the same story. I think we can work all these in together real quick.
For when? For what? What, tomorrow?
No, for today. Consequences for mask mandates. That's governor. That's your governor, Captain Florida, basically telling some of the local officials that, hey, by the way, if you mandate masks for kids in school, we're going to stop your pay. Period. And the courts have said, yeah, you can do that. You have I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what. I'll ask you. I want to do the micro tomorrow because I don't want to do that in 2 minutes. I want to save that and make that a primary.
Okay. No, that sounds phenomenal because that is actually a very good discussion. So we'll talk about micro tomorrow, but let's get into the governor of Texas. Now, here's another guy who basically, he went after the folks there in the Texas legislature. You know, the ones who decided that they weren't going to do their jobs, that they were just going to leave the state of Texas and make it so that they couldn't pass what we all know are reasonable. I don't want to say limitations, but reasonable guidelines for voting there in the state of Texas. Well, he has basically, when they come back, he said, well, not only am I not going to give you your paychecks, I'm not going to authorize your budget for the legislature. I'm going to veto the budget for the legislative functions in the state of Florida, the state of Texas, and the Texas Supreme Court backed him up.
Expenses, yeah. Let's be clear. We're talking about he's just not defunding the entire legislature. What he's doing is he's taking away the operating expenses from the Democrats. Right. So, listen, I know I'm not going to pay you because you're not going to be there, but now I'm not going to pay your chief of staff. Now I'm not going to pay your legislative assistant. Now I'm not going to pay your rent. Now I'm not going to pay this. If you don't want to come to work, you're not going to get paid. And so what? Your people are not going to get paid also. So and the Texas Supreme Court has said, son, it's football season. You need to leave us alone. We got other things to do. So college football season is coming up.
Well, man, it's nice to see it. It's nice to see Republicans standing up for themselves. And if there's one thing I think that we can learn or should have learned from Donald Trump is that you don't have to take the liberals' BS sitting down. You can fight back. It's okay to fight back because guess what? They're not fighting fair. They're not following any rules. And you can do whatever it is that you can do. And you know what? And let the courts tell you can't. And that's exactly what...
Right. This is what's going on in Florida also. Like you said, with Ron DeSantis, Captain Florida. You remember we had people last week that said, we're going to vote for masks anyway, even though you said we can't make masks mandatory in school. A couple of the school boards he got a hold of and said, well, here's the deal. I'm just going to stop sending you the state education monies to run your school. And then those boards of education said, oh, okay, we apologize. We didn't mean to do that.
Funny how that happens.
The one or two that said, no, we're sticking by our guns. He said, fine. Hey, Department of Education, I need you to stop cutting checks to the board members and the president of the board of the school board administrator, so they don't get paid also. And then now they're like, you can't cut our pay. They were perfectly okay to sacrifice the money going into the school itself, but now that the money is going to the school board members, now they're backtracking. So yeah, it's nice. Now we did see the president do this. Remember back in California with the sanctuary immigrant status things. Right. He said, listen, I'm going to stop sending you funding for law enforcement training. And they went and got themselves a Hawaii judge to get an injunction. and got it put on hold. And it's still, in the end, the president ended up restricting money on them, but it was because of those liberal judges.
Right.
You know what else? You know what else accelerated the president putting 226 federal judges in place? That kind of nonsense.
Yep.
Because guess what? You don't see these things getting struck down now by liberal judges, do you?
No, actually, you're starting to see, especially in places like the Ninth Circuit, which is like all of the 20 Western states, you're actually starting to see some significant decisions that you wouldn't expect to see coming out of the Ninth.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now the Ninth hasn't flipped completely. A couple of the others have, but there's definitely a different tone coming out of them for sure.
Definitely a different tone. All right. So since we're skipping Mike Rowe, this next one, or this is our parting shot. I really thought that there was only one thing that made this story. We talked about it yesterday. That made this story less believable, and that was that the fact that it didn't happen in California. So, Mike, you wanna run down just real quick the story of the racist rock?
We had a racist rock in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, up there at University of Wisconsin. They had a rock, a 70-ton rock that's over 100 years old. The former chancellor up there of the school, Chamberlain, they named it after him because they discovered that this rock, when they first discovered only 1.5 feet it was sticking out of the ground, they found that this was a very unusual rock for that region because it evidently rode glaciers over thousands of years from northern Canada all the way down into Wisconsin. So it's not native to that area. So very unique, very scientific, very geologic rock there. But evidently 100 years ago, Craig, somebody described that rock. Some person one time in a news article used a racial term to describe that rock. Never since been called that. Nothing whatsoever. One time, 100 years ago, somebody called this rock a racist word, and that made it a racist rock, and they got rid of it. And you and I could not fathom how in the world a rock, let alone a 70-ton rock, could be racist. How is a rock racist?
I have absolutely
didn't kill anybody on this rock. Right. They didn't hang anybody from this rock. Nothing like that.
And yet
somebody called it racist.
And yet, and still, it is still more believable that there is a racist rock. Still more believable than Epstein killing himself.
Exactly right. A racist rock. Yep. Still more believable than Epstein killed himself. Exactly right. It's exactly right.
They stripped the rock of its plaque. I mean, look at that.
Yeah. Pulled its name off in disgrace. You will hence be known as the former racist rock.
Okay. I'm like, this is a 70-ton rock. And for no reason at all, they decided that they're going to move this rock, get rid of this rock because it is racist.
Yeah.
What world are we living in today, Mike? What has happened to America?
You know, Craig, I really didn't think this rock was racist until you brought that picture up and I saw the way it was looking at you.
It was. I was feeling kind of intimidated by that rock. You know what I'm saying? God, look, I had
standing there with all them white people.
I know. It had white streaks all through it, exerting its rock privilege.
That's it. 70 tons of rock privilege coming at you.
Oh, Lord Jesus, Lord help us, Lord help us. All right, folks. Well, hey, that's going to be it for this edition of the Rundown. Mikey, make sure. Do we have we had a chance to talk meat? Do we know what we're going to be giving away on Feedback Friday yet?
We're going to be giving away a free gift. It might be a year's supply of turtle wax. I'm not sure. I have not spoken to our good friends at Grid Defense or Gorilla Machining this week. I normally meet with them tomorrow and have not met with them for a week or so, which is why we're a week behind naming what our Feedback Friday gift is.
Now, I know that sounds like a year's supply of turtle wax, but how often do you really wax your turtle?
Well, I mean, when you're married, not so much. I mean, a single man, I guess, might do it a little bit more, but I don't know.
I wasn't even going there. Family show, bruh. Family show. Yeah, so folks, every Friday we do what's called Feedback Friday, where we read your comments, we share your comments with the audience. Now, here's the deal, though. You may be watching us on another channel like 2A News or at Arms Room Radio or at the California Republican Assembly. If you want to participate in Feedback Friday and have an opportunity to win free stuff, you got to go to The Rundown. That's therundown.us. We'll take you to our YouTube channel, or on Facebook, just look up The Rundown, and you can find us there as well. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also want to remind you, California Republican Assembly, one of our very, very important sponsors, want to encourage you this weekend. This Saturday is going to be the endorsing convention for the California recall. There's going to be a ton of Republican gubernatorial candidates, including a number of the leading candidates, are going to be there, and they're going to be doing a presentation. So if you want to get a chance to meet them, say hello, make sure you're there. It's going to be in Valencia, California. It's going to be this Saturday, August 14th. So make sure you guys are there.
Listen, yeah, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. We need you to be involved on Freedback Friday. Epstein didn't kill himself, and we will see you on Hump Day.
Oh, yeah, and just in case you're wondering, in case something happens between now and tomorrow, Mike and I didn't kill ourselves either.
Check out Cuomo.